RTV6 anchor Lauren Casey. This is breaking news from RTV6, working for you.
In that breaking news, 3 people, all under the age of 18, shot and injured inside a West Side home. Our Graham Hunter is live right now on the scene gathering details. Graham, what can you tell us right now?
Nicole, police are still out here investigating tonight where 3 teenagers were shot earlier this evening. A spokesman from IMPD told us they are getting conflicting reports from witnesses about exactly what happened here tonight. Speedway police were called out to the shooting just after 9:30, where they found one person who was shot outside a home. Inside, they found 2 more gunshot victims who were shot in the legs. Police say they do not have the shooter in custody. We did see some people who were in handcuffs, but who were later let go. Police say all 3 victims are in stable condition. They range in age from 13 to 15.
Yeah, it's pretty young. It would help everyone if parents would know where their children are and supervise them when they go to such events like this.
Police are still working to find out if there was any type of relationship between the shooter and the victims before tonight. Again, there have been no arrests of a shooter here this evening. Working for you from the West Side, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. An Irvington man says the company that towed his car from the impound lot back to his home damaged his property in the process. Tonight, he's telling us what happened, and only our Graham Hunter has the story, and he's also getting a response tonight from the tow truck company.
Well, Hatfield crashed his car. It happens, but what he wasn't expecting was what happened when the tow company dropped his car off back at his house and on top of his fence.
Wrecked my car into another car, sucked, clearly.
It's been a rough week for Hatfield, who bought the car just a few days earlier.
When I had the towing company deliver it back, this is what I got.
Hatfield says the car was brought back late at night, and he recorded the driver unloading it into the yard.
Going back and forth and just slowly decimating my fence.
The yard has some damage as well, and there's grass in the muffler.
I just let it happen because honestly, I didn't know what to do.
The next day, Hatfield says he called the tow company.
He said that he hadn't spoken with the tow truck driver because he was a night person. I haven't heard from him since.
I reached the owner of the company on the phone, who tells me he was waiting for Hatfield to send him video of the incident, but says that never happened.
I didn't do that. I didn't put my car against there.
The owner of the company tells me his driver was just trying to put the car where the customer, Hatfield, wanted it, but says it may not have been the right call.
Fixed my fence.
The owner tells me he's still willing to fix the fence, but says he wishes Hatfield would have maintained contact with him instead of posting about the incident on social media. Working for you on the East Side, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. If you have a problem and you need help getting answers, connect with us here at RTV6. You can send us an email, workingforyou@rtv6.com. Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast with meteorologist Kyle Mounds. Kyle, it's kind of been a chilly day today.
A little bit, but looking beautiful here in downtown Indianapolis. We've got temperatures still in the 40s, so things have improved as we go throughout the evening hours. Those temperatures are going to hold fairly steady. You can see that we're running about 15 to 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. We've got a south breeze and this blanket of cloud cover that's going to keep those temperatures from really tanking again tonight. Bigger picture here shows that there are a few showers over Lake Michigan. Those will stay off to our north, so it is going to be a dry night for us, but more of those clouds as you head out the door in the morning. We'll have those temperatures starting off the day into the upper 30s and quickly climbing back into the 40s. We'll talk about a warmer Sunday, but we've got some snow potential on the heels of that going into our Monday, so Veterans Day could be a little bit messy here weather-wise, and following that, some near record lows in the 7-day forecast.
Kyle, thank you. No more guessing games tonight. We know Colts quarterback Jacoby Brissett will not play tomorrow. The Colts made that announcement earlier today. Brissett hurt his left knee last week in the first half of the Colts' 26-24 loss at Pittsburgh. Backup quarterback Brian Hoyer will start Sunday's game against Miami at Lucas Oil Stadium. Hoyer completed 17 of 26 passes for 168 yards against the Steelers with 3 touchdowns and an interception. Kickoff against the Dolphins is set for 4:05 Sunday afternoon. Did you happen to catch the spectacle downtown earlier tonight? Monument Circle was literally transformed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Shining the Light made its big premiere tonight on the Circle. It's a show honoring Hoosier veterans and current service members. Buildings on the southeast quadrant turned into large movie screens displaying a new show called Signature Salute. The videos featured images of historic significance and were underscored with a performance by the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra. Going forward, Signature Salute will play nightly, 365 days a year at 6:30 from now until March. Wow, that looked amazing. Well, tonight, 39 athletes are qualified for the Olympic team trials after the 12th annual C&O Financial Indianapolis Monumental Marathon. This year, the number of runners hit a record high, selling out the event completely. 19,000 athletes spent their Saturday morning running through the streets of downtown Indianapolis.
I did well. I just wanted to get out here and run today, run as fast as I could, break 20 minutes, and I did that, so I'm happy. The course was awesome.
Todd Lemon and Katie Carr, both from Indiana, are training partners. They braved the 30-degree temperatures with one thing on their mind.
I think we're kind of insane, and we just need to set goals and achieve our goals, so we're just always out here for the competition.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how cold it is.
It's chasing the next goal and just setting higher standard for yourself.
I feel pretty good right now, I guess, because I ran well, so I don't care about how I feel right now.
Runners from all 50 states and 22 different countries took part in the Monumental Marathon events, leaving all distances completely sold out. This group of friends traveled to Indy from Denver, Boulder, and Philly.
We actually went to college together, though. Met up about 3 miles in, which is a nice surprise.
The second place finisher in the half marathon lives in Rochester, Michigan. He's leaving Indianapolis feeling good after finishing 13.1 miles in 1 hour and 3 minutes.
Well, it feels good to always get out there and compete. So it was a great event that everybody was about the same level of fitness. So I liked it a lot.
Hundreds of local students also ran in the 5K. These are kids that are now graduates of the Monumental Kids Movement. It's a youth running program that reinforces healthy lifestyles for young people with an emphasis on working with urban students.
Watching these kids run is amazing. It's completely inspiring, watching their persistence and just their determination to get this done.
The youth running program now includes 58 schools in Center Township, including 35 IPS schools. The Indianapolis Monumental Marathon is recognized as a top 15 marathon in the U.S. and is nationally recognized by Runner's World as one of the 10 great marathons for first-timers. Plans are already underway for next year's Monumental Marathon. It will be on Saturday, November 7th. Registration for 2020 will open on January 1st, 2020 with special pricing options. 17 Indiana state park sites will close their gates to visitors for a pair of 2-day deer hunts in the coming weeks. The hunts are scheduled for November 18th and 19th and December 2nd and 3rd. The Indiana DNR says deer reduction hunts will fight over population so plants and other animals can survive. This year's hunts come after a state appeals court rejected a lawsuit challenging the DNR's authority to allow hunters armed with rifles into state parks. Go to the DNR website for a complete list of parks included in the deer reduction hunts. It has now been 1 week since a Johnson County family has seen their bulldog named Hadley. This is a story we first told you about Wednesday on RTV6. The family says Hadley is still missing tonight and they are pleading for help getting her back home. She got loose through an unlatched door in Whiteland last Saturday. Someone found her in the road and took her to the Johnson County Animal Shelter. She was scanned for a microchip. The shelter then called the family, but the family unfortunately missed the call. But they immediately called back several times and went to the shelter, but it was too late. The shelter does not require finders to leave animals or leave their information. The shelter says the finder said they would contact the family and return Hadley, but now a week later, the family has not heard from them. Hadley is a brindle bulldog. If you know where she is tonight, contact Whiteland Police. Public hearings are set to begin next week in the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. But the president is seemingly not concerned and continues to criticize the investigation. Here's ABC's David Wright with the very latest.
President Trump continued his criticism of the impeachment inquiry this morning as he left Washington, headed to a college football matchup between Alabama and LSU.
There's never been a president who's been so transparent. This is a witch hunt at the highest level.
On Wednesday, the probe moves from closed-door depositions to open hearings. House Republicans submitted the list of witnesses they want to testify, which includes the former vice president's son, Hunter Biden, as well as the anonymous whistleblower. In the request for the whistleblower's testimony, the ranking Republican on the Intelligence Committee, Devin Nunes, writes that the president should be afforded an opportunity to confront his accusers. Late today, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, said he'll consider the Republican requests, but cautioned this inquiry will not serve as a vehicle to undertake the same sham investigations into the Bidens or 2016 that the president pressed Ukraine to conduct. Earlier this week, Democrats began releasing transcripts of some of the closed-door testimony. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, the National Security Council's Director of European Affairs, was on the call between Trump and the president of Ukraine, according to Vindman's transcript. When questioned if he had any doubt Trump was asking for investigations of his political opponents, Vindman replied, there was no doubt. President Trump says he's not worried about any of the testimony so far and insists he's focused on other issues.
Our economy is doing phenomenally well. Our jobs numbers just broke yet another record. They're higher than ever before.
Tonight, the president heads to New York City to participate in a Veterans Day parade on Monday. David Wright, ABC News, the White House.
David, thank you. A museum and library honoring one of Indianapolis's most famous natives now has a new home downtown. A ribbon cutting was held today, 543 Indiana Avenue, the new home of the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library. We told you back in May the museum needed $300,000 to secure the new location after the lease on the former location on Senate Avenue expired. Donors stepped up in a big way to make it all possible. The CEO says people from all across the world will now be able to gather here to recognize and celebrate the common ground they have while celebrating Vonnegut. The CEO says being able to purchase the building and have the grand opening today is a dream come true.
We Hoosiers are so proud that Kurt Vonnegut is from Indianapolis and from our Hoosier state. And what a great way to celebrate his life and legacy, all the things that matter to him, that matter to most people. We are so grateful for the 1,400 donors that made this building happen and for all the support we received from volunteers and others.
Kurt Vonnegut is remembered as one of the great American writers of the second half of the 20th century. He died in 2007. The museum and library not only has exhibits, they also offer programs for students, teachers, veterans, and general readers. It's being called a potential breakthrough in the epidemic of vaping-related illnesses. We're taking a closer look at the latest conclusions from scientists. A shocking incident caught on camera. Why a family says their teenage son never stood a chance against a school bus driver. Kyle.
November 19th is the average first measurable snowfall in Indianapolis. We may not have to wait that long, though. We'll talk about the transition from rain to snow in your Monday forecast. You're watching RTV6.
Proceeds that night will be donated to our toy drive.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Tonight, more details about a strong culprit identified in the series of severe lung illnesses that have been associated with vaping. Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche.
Federal officials announcing a possible breakthrough involving the severe lung illnesses that have been linked to vaping. The CDC zeroing in on a toxin they're now calling a strong culprit. For the first time, federal officials have identified vitamin E acetate as a possible cause of the deadly outbreak that has claimed 39 lives across 24 states and the District of Columbia. It's also sickened more than 2,000 people, including 15-year-old Zane Martin.
It's very bad. Don't vape unless you want to end up in the hospital.
The possible breakthrough coming after the CDC found the compound in all 29 lung samples taken from people who got sick.
This investigation has been very challenging because there are so many different constituents and things that are in this product. It's been like looking for a needle in a haystack.
The White House now considering a ban on flavors popular with teens and raising the age to buy vaping products to 21.
We have to take care of our kids, most importantly. So we're going to have an age limit of 21 or so. We're talking about flavors.
In a statement, the American Vaping Association saying it appears that President Trump may be preparing to enact smart regulations on vaping products. Raising the age to purchase tobacco and nicotine products to 21 puts the industry on a similar footing with other adult industries like alcohol and marijuana. Juul, under fire for its alleged role in sparking an increase in vaping amongst teens, taking the voluntary step on Thursday, announcing it will halt sales of its mint-flavored pods, a top seller among the youngest users. Zachary Quiche, ABC News, New York.
Zachary, thank you. A warning, the video for this next story may be hard to watch. It appears to show a school bus driver in Utah yelling and getting physical with a 16-year-old autistic student. The lawyer representing the student says this wasn't the only time this happened.
A grown man shouldn't beat a child on a school bus. The bigger system issues are, why did this bus driver have zero training about how to deal with A, people with disabilities, and B, this specific child?
The bus driver was fired shortly after this incident. The teen in the video is autistic, blind, and nonverbal. This case was turned over to police, but so far no charges have been filed. Tonight, the Salvation Army is one step closer to helping children in need this holiday season. Toy drives were held at Walmart locations across central Indiana today. The Salvation Army is hoping to help 7,000 kids through its Angel Tree campaign. Today, shoppers received a list of the most requested toys and gifts needed for the program. Rhonda Cook and her nieces volunteered their time today at the West 86th Street Walmart.
Because I was one of those kids one time that needed help, and my family, when my son was young, we needed the help, and they were there for us too.
It's good for people to get Christmas because some people don't get birthday presents or nothing.
If you receive something, you sometimes want to give back, and whenever you give, you feel more happy.
The Salvation Army says they have a record number of kids in the Angel Tree program this year. These are kids that are depending on Angel Tree to put gifts under their Christmas tree.
That hope and security in providing toys so that their children can feel what Christmas is in this season. They can understand that Christmas is a time for hope, and that hope in this instance is coming in the shape of toys.
In this instance, you know, people are really, they're looking to give back, and so it really makes people feel good. You know, they're not in a rush, they're not panicked, they're able to just know that they're going to be doing something that's going to make somebody's life better.
Salvation Army will not be able to help all 7,000 kids without community support. The toy drives at Walmart were only for today, but you can go online to salvationarmyindy.org to adopt a family. Kyle.
And it is going to be feeling like Christmas time here over the next couple of days, maybe even looking like it a little bit. Today, temperatures almost made it to that 50-degree mark. Not quite. We topped out at 49. It's 42 right now, and that southwest breeze kicking in between 10 and 15 miles per hour. So that's going to hold those temperatures pretty steady. But, yeah, it's adding to a wind chill out there tonight. We'll have that in the morning, too. It feels like 35 in Indy. Feels like it's at the freezing mark in Columbus at 32 degrees. Tonight, the actual air temperature down to 35, mostly cloudy, and that southwest wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll have some clouds around tonight and in throughout the day on Sunday, but we're going to keep things dry as we go through the day. So TrueCast just increasing the clouds, and that's about it for our Sunday. As we go through the first half of the day, there are the clouds, and temperatures as a result will be kind of slow to warm up here. We're at 40 degrees at 9 a.m., but we do get into the lower 50s at noon. And if you are going to be heading out tailgating ahead of the Colts game tomorrow, looks like some pretty good weather for you there. Temperatures in the lower 50s by 1 o'clock. Of course, kickoff's a little after 4, and we'll have temperatures into the middle 50s at that point. That's pretty seasonal, almost to that average for this time of year, and we'll keep it dry right on into the evening hours with those temperatures in the middle 40s by 10 p.m. Afternoon highs approaching 60 in Bloomington and Columbus, 53 in Muncie, and again about 54 in Indy. Everything changes, though, in the Monday forecast. You're going to need all that winter weather gear here. We'll start off with temperatures mid to upper 30s. They will slide backwards as we go throughout the day, and that means we'll transition from a little bit of rain to some light snow across the area. This is TrueCast, 8 o'clock Monday morning. Fairly dry conditions, but that precipitation will pretty quickly overspread the area by mid-morning. Actually has that rain-snow line south of I-70 at that point. We continue with some snow showers, possibly some bursts of snow here right on into the evening drive on Monday. So could be a little bit sloppy before that system starts to move out. We'll continue to fine-tune adjustments here with the snow potential, but looks like ranging from less than an inch south to possibly a couple of inches north. But I do think some of this is going to melt on contact as it being our first accumulating snow, and still the ground is relatively warm. After that, just much colder. Temperatures in the teens Tuesday and Wednesday morning. That's record territory. Only 25 the high on Tuesday. We warm to the 40s by Thursday and Friday.
I saw you said warm.
Warm, yeah, quotation marks there.
That's because it's not really warm.
Not warm at all. Not for this time of year. No way.
Okay, Kyle, thank you. Well, chances are you've played Monopoly at some point in your life, but now there's a potential game changer in how Monopoly deals with female players. That's next.
Down on the farm.
A classic game is getting a reboot. Monopoly has been around for more than 100 years, and as Annie Taylor shows us, it's taking on a big social issue, but it's not the first time.
It's always game night at Board Game Republic. People come here to eat and play.
Monopoly is, arguably the best known board game of all time.
Keith Myers owns the place and started working in the board game industry as a teen. He's well aware of this iconic game and its social commentary.
Choosing, the gender gap in wage is, I think pretty bold. And it's, Monopoly is played majority by kids.
This version of the game is Ms. Monopoly. This popular game is taking on a huge social issue in gender equality, the pay gap.
You automatically get to make more money because you're a woman. That absolutely does send a message.
The rules work like this. Women start with $1,900 Monopoly dollars. Men only get $1,500. And then women also get $240 when passing go, whereas men only get the standard $200. There are some cards that give advantages to the men, but they are limited. Myers says,
I know some of the people who work at Hasbro, and I applaud them for their efforts in what they've done.
And if you understand its history, this version is especially interesting because of who originally created Monopoly.
Monopoly, mistaken conception that Charles Darrow was the inventor of it, but was actually Elizabeth Meiji.
That's right, a woman.
That was actually built to show the bad side of monopolies and, the whole tenant-landlord issues.
The most recent attempts to deal with social issues only pays tribute to Monopoly's original intent nearly 100 years ago.
I think that's really cool because sometimes my brother always wins.
Teaching a younger generation that women can make as much as men, if not more.
Because girls should win.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
This is working for you.
This is simply a nice gesture that we want to share with you. It comes from the Lawrence Police Department Twitter page. They say someone left this note on an officer's police cruiser windshield while the officer was inside a gym working out. This is a sentiment most of us would share when it comes to the men and women who protect and serve. Always a nice to pass along those kind of messages.
Yeah, and we thank them for their service too.
Definitely.
All right, on Sunday, it's going to be a day to take advantage of the weather. While we're going to have the clouds, we will have temperatures in the 50s. Looks a whole lot better when you stack it up to our Monday, where temperatures will be falling through the day. Could have some light snow accumulation out there as well. A little sloppy, and then much colder to end the week.
All right, Kyle, I'm not looking forward to it. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.